The new Xbox UI looks absolutely atrocious. We have some interesting information when it comes to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and PlayStation 5 has surpassed 2 million sales in Japan. So the Xbox UI right now is something that is going through a revamp. Xbox has set up through the Alpha Skip Ahead program access to the new upcoming user interface. Now, there has been a lot of talk about the user interface currently as it sits right now to the UI that is out there for everybody. It isn't that bad. I think it is a pretty decent UI, but I would love to see some upgrades from suggestions that we've seen from fans with more minimalism, being able to see more of your dynamic background, and just maybe an easier way to navigate and sort through all of the things that you have access to within the Xbox UI. Well, they've recently sent out the Alpha Skip Ahead program. More people are getting access to the new design of the UI, and it is looking like they didn't listen to anybody, and the UI has actually gotten worse. So we have this tweet here from Xbox Mike 29. He says here, "The new Xbox dashboard is awful. It's one big advert, and worst yet, it's removed all customizable options, so I can't pin my favorite games, friends, and clubs to the homepage anymore, nor can I remove any of the adverts to simplify my homepage. Xbox, this isn't good." And you can see here the video of the actual dashboard itself. It looks terrible. I mean, it's literally just a bunch of tiles scrolling down, scrolling through, and you can't see anything in the background. You cannot see the dynamic UI that Xbox loves to tout, that they put out new dynamic UIs to give you this nice, cool background look for your Xbox when you load it up. It really seems like Xbox is kind of trying to integrate everything into a very similar look across all the different platforms, because essentially, to me, this really just looks like a expansion of the Xbox Cloud Gaming UI when you go onto your browser, or what it's kind of going to look like with the Smart TV app on Samsung TVs. But overall, it's just really a big Xbox Game Pass ad, essentially, is what it seems like this UI is going to be. Now, this is a terrible decision by Xbox. This is not what people want from the Xbox UI. They have not listened to anybody. In fact, they've made the UI worse from these initial videos and screenshots that we have been seeing. And this is a problem going forward if they keep it like this. This is still in the Alpha Skip Ahead program, but it is usually something that is going to come out to everybody at a later date. The big issue I see here, most likely that is happening with the UI, is that there is a big corporate push to make everything look identical across all of the different platforms, and to make people really only focus on Xbox Game Pass, the ecosystem, and the subscription service side of things. And that is not a good thing when it comes to people who have purchased the Xbox Series S and X. We want to be able to customize our homepage. We want to be able to customize our UI and have the things that we want to see when we log into our Xbox right there front and center, and this isn't it. So if we go down here through the comments, we have some more stuff here saying, also, thanks for the new dynamic background, Bethesda Studios. It looks great, or at least it would be if I could see it. I mean, that's terrible. You can't even see what is going on in the background there. I have the Halo Infinite dynamic background, which I think is really cool, and I wouldn't even be able to see anything with this new UI once it gets installed onto my Xbox. We have some more replies here. Where they released the images of the UI, they got lots of backlash, but they still decided to do it. Makes no sense. That is a great point. They did get a lot of backlash initially when this initial UI came out. When I first saw it, I wasn't that up in arms yet because I didn't really see how it was going to function. I hadn't gotten access to it. But now that we're seeing more of it come out live, people going through via the Alpha Skip Ahead, it looks very, very bad, and they didn't listen to anybody. And again, this is why I think this comes down to a big corporate push to have a single view, a single focus on the Xbox UI, which is going to be the Xbox Game Pass and the subscription service. And then we have Eden Marie here, who, as we know, is an engineering lead at Xbox. She replies to this tweet and then links her tweet where they're telling people to give the feedback for the Xbox UI. And I mean, if they're going to be giving feedback, hopefully now, if they see people posting videos on Twitter, posting stuff out there about how dissatisfied they are with it, maybe they will listen and make big changes. This person here replies, I agree 100%. Xbox, I want to see stuff on my dashboard, not commercials of Game Pass and other things being forced to me on my dashboard. I already subscribe to Game Pass and I don't need the constant reminder. Keep the screen simple, clean, and most importantly, our own pins. Now, when it comes to pushing ads, they're probably thinking that this is another way to be able to monetize Xbox as well. And that's why they really want to focus on ads in Xbox Game Pass, where they're going to be putting out games there from developers that maybe pay more to get their games into the Xbox Game Pass service, where they'll say, we're going to have an ad for that right on the person's main screen as soon as they turn on their Xbox, which I'm sure pushes more people to those games. And all that type of stuff is where they are focusing less on the user experience and what the gamers who bought an Xbox want, and more so on the monetization of Xbox Game Pass and the monetization of the users who have already subscribed to Xbox Game Pass. And then we go down here to some concept that we've seen, and there have been some great concepts of the Xbox UI, ones that are far better than what we're currently seeing right now. Here's one, much more minimalistic. I think it looks great. Just having a bar at the bottom, and then you can see the dynamic background. And if you want to go down and see more tiles and get access to more content within the UI, you can do that. And again, this is just a preview build. This isn't a build that is coming out to everybody. This isn't a build that has been officially released. So very well, they could be looking at all this, make those changes, and the UI could be completely different once it actually does come out. But as of right now, if this is the idea that they are going with, if they don't make some big changes, there's going to be a lot of upset people when it comes to the Xbox dashboard. All right, let's jump over here to talk about some PlayStation 5 sales. Now, PlayStation 5, we know that the console itself is selling extremely well. It is the leader right now when you're comparing it to the Xbox in terms of total console sales. And they have finally reached 2 million sales in Japan, but it is also tracking behind the PlayStation 4, and it is even behind the PlayStation 3 in terms of reaching that 2 million in sales milestone. So according to Famitsu, they reached this mark on October 23rd, and this is divided between the PlayStation 5 consoles and the PlayStation 5 digital editions. And it passed the threshold 101 weeks, whereas with the PlayStation 4, it took them 90 weeks, and with the PlayStation 3, it was even shorter, which was 73 weeks. But the reality of the situation, I think, when it comes to the PlayStation 5 sales around the world, but specifically in Japan, is that there has been a shortage of actual units. There has been not enough supply to meet the demand, but they've also raised the price of the PlayStation 5 in Japan. And that may be slowing things down there and continues to slow things down going forward as you're walking into a store and you're seeing your options out there. And people are probably still deciding to choose to pick the Nintendo Switch over the PlayStation 5, and even at times the Xbox over the PlayStation 5. But we'll see how all of that pans out going forward, if it's going to have a big effect on it. We do know that PlayStation is potentially working on a new version of the PS5. We've heard rumors about a PS5 Pro, which I don't see how realistic that is. But we've also heard another rumor, which I think makes a lot more sense, which is they are going to just go down to one SKU of the PS5, a digital edition, where if you want to buy a disc drive for it, you can buy an external disc drive for an additional cost, where you can still play those physical games. That would probably be an easier way for PlayStation to go to get more units out there, and then just probably try to push way more people into the digital marketplace, where Sony completely controls all the prices of their consoles. And finally, let's talk about some Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. We know today's the big release date. I'm pretty excited. I'll be jumping in tonight, trying to get a bunch of games in, play through the campaign. Really did enjoy the campaign. Thought it was a very well done game. But now we have the multiplayer, and now we know what is actually going to be on the discs in terms of if you're buying the physical edition of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. As Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 now requires you to still download 100 gigabytes, even if you are to buy Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 disc, which only includes 70 megabytes of data. Now, this isn't that surprising. This isn't something that I think people are going to look at and think that this is new to the industry. I mean, 70 megabytes is small, but I would say for a long time now, a ton of games just give you a very slight amount of content, a very slight amount of information on the disc if you buy it physical. And most of it is being downloaded from the actual store, because that disc itself essentially is just a key to be able to get access to the game from the Xbox store, the PlayStation store, wherever you are playing the game. And it's a discussion that is something I think is interesting to have, whether physical gaming is going to be completely going away in the future, how many more generations they're going to have physical games for, or is this going to be the end of it? And even maybe before this generation ends, are we going to pretty much have only those 70 megabyte discs coming out, where you still have to download the entirety of the game from the actual game store on your Xbox, on your PlayStation? For me personally, I love physical games. I've loved physical games really up until this generation, where I thought to myself, there is no point of buying physical games right now. There's not even a manual inside. There's no real goodies that you used to get back in the day. And it, like I said, it's just a key to download it. And now we're seeing it with big games like Call of Duty. And even EA had announced that they are going to completely stop selling physical games in certain parts of Europe. So it'll be very interesting to see. I think for collectors, this is going to be very sad. And it's also going to be concerning, I think, going forward for these games. You buy the physical disc. If there's only 70 megabytes on the disc itself, as soon as these games come off the server, you're never going to be able to access those games again. And then we have an update here on some leaked information that has come out about Call of Duty, and that is that soccer players or footballers, wherever you are in the world, whatever you want to call it, are going to be coming over to Call of Duty. So there is a list here of players that have been mentioned, like Neymar and like Pogba. Now we have an update as to how these players are actually going to be looking within the game. So here it is. Here is the picture of Pogba, and here is the picture of Neymar, all suited up. And you're probably going to be able to jump in and play with them sooner rather than later. But it's exciting. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is here. We know this is going to span a 2-year life cycle. At least that's what it is sounding like. They're going to continue to be bringing out more content. Everybody's going to be jumping in today and over the next couple of weeks. And it's always pretty exciting when the new Call of Duty does come out. But more so, I think, than it has been in the last couple of years with this one, as Modern Warfare 2, when that came out back in the Xbox 360 days, really put Call of Duty on the map, making it a cultural phenomenon, in my opinion, in terms of the video game industry. But that's it for me, guys. What are your thoughts on the Xbox UI? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? What do you want to see added? Do you think Xbox is going to listen and make some major changes before they release it out to everybody? What do you think about the PlayStation 5 getting to 2 million console sales, but slower than the PS3 and the PS4? And are you excited for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here and you liked what you saw, consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.